Hi, my name is Emma. It seems Sharon has got some issues with her connection. I hope she rejoins us in a few. I am the marketing officer at Passcode Global Consultants. Yeah, I'm welcoming you all to this webinar and hope to engage, to learn. If you have any questions, kindly through the session, you can always type in and then I can always reply to them later, rather respond, or we can engage after the webinar. I see my colleague is back, so I'll just let her continue with her introduction and then we'll proceed from there.
Okay, so I was giving a brief introduction. So I'll start off with what we do as Passcode. For those who are not in, my name is Sharon. The languages, we're a company that mostly deals with nurses, adjusted to a new program where we are taking people to Germany. There's both skilled and unskilled workers. So if you're a nurse, whatever, we are accommodating you all. So we're not specific to certain people that we're taking to Germany. We're dealing, our scope is wider now for German program. But for the NCLEX program, it's strictly for nurses want to, because NCLEX is an exam that nurses do when they want to relocate to USA. Then we also do service, which is a requirement if you want to go outside the country. So that's what something else that we do, among other things. But since today's webinar is about German program, I am going to focus on that. So for German, we have 4 modules. We have the beginner level, which is A1 level. Then we have A2. Then we have B1 and B2. So B2 is not a compulsory for you to do it in Kenya or your respective countries. The only certificate required for you to migrate is a B1 certificate. So once you have the B1 certificate, you can relocate to Germany, then you do your B2 from there. As you work or as you study, you cannot do the B2 from there. So for B1, or for A1, sorry, this is why you're taught basic knowledge, basic language, German language. We are planning to have a session on the same, a small session, an interactive session, where we just teach you a few things on A1, make the session interesting. So by probably the end of this week, we are going to communicate to you. We do a session, we teach you a few things, and then you guys can now plan to enroll because you have the basic knowledge on the language. Then there are 4 pathways which one can use to relocate to Germany. Number 1 is Ausbildung. You can be typing your questions in the chat box so that we answer them as we progress. We have Ausbildung. This is a process, this is a pathway where you go to learn nursing in Germany. So the program is fully sponsored by the German, by the organization that is now, you've signed your contract with. Then you go there, learn the language, learn the nursing program as you get paid. So immediately you're done with your learning, you become a registered nurse in Germany, and then you start now working there. The other pathway is nursing. Nursing is a pathway on its own. So if you're a nurse, you are at an added advantage because the only thing you need is B1 certificate, and then now we will apply the process for you as a nurse. Then you can also go there with a job search visa. This is now what my colleague is gonna talk about. And then you can also go to Germany, as an au pair. So au pairing is where you go there and live with the host family. The host family, you're gonna get paid by the host family, but they're going to host you during your stay in Germany. So once your duration for the host family is almost ending, you can look for another job. You don't have to be an au pair all along. It's just a pathway that you use to go to Germany. But once you get there, then your visa has expired. You can now look for another job. So you will now shift from engineering, but you've gone to nursing as an au pair. You can be looking for a job as you act as an au pair. So immediately your au pairing contract is up, you now start working there as an engineer or as your respective careers. So those are the different pathways that you can go to Germany with. Our costs for the German program are 25,000. This is a question I get a lot. So the 25 to $50, let me use dollars because we have different people here. So the $250 for A1, A2 are inclusive of the exam fees. So for A1 and for A2, and that is inclusive of the $250 that you pay. But for B1, that is exclusive because we are not going to give you a certificate for B1, but we will test you before you go now to do the main exam. In Kenya, the body that offers exam, or rather, I think it is worldwide, Goethe Institute or OSD. So those are the two bodies that offer German exams. You can just look at them and then you compare between the two, which one suits you best. The exam costs are around 24 or $20 to 250, sorry, or $200 for the exam. In Kenyan shillings, it's 24,000. So that is what our charges are. And we are going to help you with the whole process of learning the language. And afterwards, we're going to help you with the job search or the Ausbildung process or the au pairing process. If you were in our last webinar, you remember our tutor is in Germany. So we've built a connection there. So helping you guys find a job, helping you with the Ausbildung au pairing process becomes easier. Yes, I think that is all I had. And welcome you all. Feel free to ask any questions. You're in safe hands at Passcode Global Consultants, and we would like to serve you better and welcome. I will now hand over this chance to my colleague, Emma. Can proceed.
Yes, thank you very much, Sharon. Before I continue, kindly, I need to know whether I am clear enough for everyone. Just type in if you can hear me to avoid going back and forth.
Yeah, we can get you. Personally, I can get you.
Okay, so reintroducing myself again. My name is Emma. I am the marketing officer at Passcode, and today's webinar was supposed to talk about the job seeker visa card or the job search visa card for Germany. And I will start by introducing what that card is used for and to whom it's allowed, or rather to the people that are allowed to use it. So ideally, the card is used to search for a job while in Germany, and the card only allows non-European nationals to move to Germany for a period of 6 months in search of a job. And the job that you're searching for should definitely match your qualifications. Yeah, it is definitely ideal for those who qualify, only those who qualify. Sorry about that. Features of the job card. Kindly don't stop texting your, or rather sending your questions to the chat, to the wall. Sharon can always respond to them, or we can always look at them after I am done with the presentation. So we move on to the features of this job card. Search visa. I have already mentioned that the duration that you're supposed to possess the card, the card is 6 months, and you cannot extend this period. If you have to extend this period, then that means you have had to you would have had to have gotten a job in Germany, or you definitely start planning your travel back to your country. And the purpose for this card, as I have said, is for searching for a job in the related field that you've studied in. There is no permission to do any work while seeking a job. So if you've immigrated to Germany using the job search card visa, you're not allowed to work until you get that job. So the only thing you're allowed to do is to attend interviews and, of course, sending applications. So there's no volunteer jobs, there's no apprenticing, there's nothing until you get an actual job, because there are processes of verifications and registrations that you're supposed to go, or rather to undertake in the German government. The visa card cannot be extended. I have mentioned that. But if you get a job within the 6 months, you can now transition the job search card visa to a work visa. And with this card also comes with an advantage, yeah. You can have your family members join you. For example, if you have kids back in your home country, if you'd like your spouse to join you, then it is possible. But they have to use a different visa, whether it's a visiting visa, whether it's a work visa. And remember, before they join you, they have to at least have German language skills, at least up to A2, especially for the kids, yeah. I am not seeing any questions being typed. I hope we are together. Kindly someone say something.
You are clear.
Yes, we are.
Get you.
Okay. We move on to the great. Yeah, at least it's good to know we're together. Moving on, of course, there are requirements that you needed to have before acquiring this job search card visa. And the very first requirement is education qualification. You need to have a degree, a recognized degree, university degree that is, or a vocational qualification and experience. You also, this degree needs to be, if it is outside the European European countries, it must be evaluated by the German authorities for it to be accepted, or rather for it to play as a requirement for you to get the job search card visa. Also, you need to have a working experience of between 3 to 5 years in that related field of your work. You're also required to prove that you're financially stable, and you do this by producing bank statements. You also can provide a formal sponsorship document, like a letter, a signed letter by your sponsor, sponsoring agent, or your individual sponsor, or proof of your savings. And at least have around 130,000 in your bank account every month. That is around 900 euros per month. So make sure you have like 130K in your bank account to sustain you for that particular month. You also needed to have a health insurance, either for a public facility or a private facility that covers your stay. And this stay is the 6-month stay. If you exit that, then your health insurance expires, because again, your job search card visa also expires. Lastly, and most important, you need to have the language skill, at least up to B1. My colleague has mentioned that we offer these modules at Passcode from A1 to B1. If you opt to extend to B2, we still offer B2 language. Also, the most popular module that is required is B1, unless your the particular organization you're going to work for, company or school, requires a higher language skill. Okay. And this also applies to people who have gotten jobs in English speaking companies, or companies owned by English speakers. You're also required to at least have skills, German language skills, again up to B1. The other requirement you are needed to have, sorry, that wasn't the last one. Of course, you will be required to have your documents, several documents. And the very first document is a valid passport, that is at least beyond 6 months. You need to have a completed visa application form that is from the Germany embassy. You need to have educational qualifications, your degree, your certificates, and all that. You need to have your resume or your CV. I'm not sure whether I had Sharon mention that we do align CV into the international liking at a cost of 2,000 Kenya shillings. So if you're in need of your CV being revamped, we also do that to the international standards. And then again, you need to have proof of financial means. How are you going to take yourself to Germany? You have to provide your bank statements, proof that you're able to sustain your transportation. If not that, then again, provide your sponsorship letter or a self-written letter to show that you can actually support yourself. Okay. And then you need to have health insurance. I did mention that for your coverage period in Germany. And then lastly, you ought to have a cover letter, which again is optional, depends with the company where you've gotten your job. If they require you to attach a cover letter, then well and good. But if they don't, and you are lucky. That was very brief. I don't know if I have left anything out, but if you have any question, kindly shoot.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please. I'm listening. Chitalo, are you still speaking?
Yeah. Okay, then I think I asked two questions. The other one also was if at all they pick in road nurses.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I did answer that on the wall. Yes, they do. They do. You were asking in regards to Germany or us as the company?
is it German? Isn't it you through you, but Germany route?
Yes, of course. For just taking you back to what Sharon had said earlier, our scope is quite wider now, and good thing for Germany currently they are not particular with any profession, or rather they're not particular with just picking a particular profession. They're actually open to even inviting unskilled personnel. So whether you're in the nursing field already enrolled, whether you have the degree and out of work, whether you're a Form 4 leaver, it is all acceptable in Germany. So the answer to your question is yes.
And the 37 years, the one I mentioned, the above 34?
Yeah, I've actually checked that. The age limit for nurses to work in Germany is 42. So
42?
at 37, you're still within the scope of the age limit there. For US, that's where there is no age limit.
Okay.
If,
No, it's been
yeah, for nurses interested in doing NCLEX instead of the German language.
So is there is job security with Passcode once you start the process with you?
So once you start training the language with us, of course, we work with you till you do your B1 exams. First of all, we offer internal exams for A1 and A2, but when you get to B1, sorry, after completing B1, we book you an exam with Goethe Institute. You do a physical exam. And then after around 3 weeks, you get your results, and then from there, now we start the job search for you. When we get an employer that you feel you'd like to work with, because again, you will have to go through the contract and agree to the terms and everything. Hello? Okay, yeah, when you get an employer and you sign the contract, that is when you're breaking.
Yes, my network is bad. I can also not
But you can hear me, right?
now.
Sorry?
I can get you now.
How about before? Did you hear what
No, I couldn't get you.
Okay,
I only
so
got the where you said after you are done with your B1 with Goethe
yeah,
Institute, that
after
the job. That is what
okay.
I heard.
So yeah, after you're done with the exams, you get your results, then we start off with the job search. In Germany, of course, we have sources there. As you've heard, our tutor is located there currently. So when we get an employer, we take you through the interview process, you sign the contract if it does suit you, and then there's if you agree on the terms of whether the employer caters for your immigration process, well and good. If you feel you can sponsor your immigration process, then that is again up to you. Because again, if you sign a contract whereby the employer covers your immigration process, then that means you will have to be the amount that will be used to cover for all that will be deducted in your salary. But if you do not want that to happen, then you can always self-sponsor yourself. So by the time you leave Passcode, we make sure that you have had a job, at least interacted virtually with your employer, signed a contract, and already started off with the immigration process.
Okay, that's lovely. And then earlier on, I spoke with Sharon. I was trying to find out what if you've already started lessons elsewhere? Do you help out with the job search and others? And what is the charge? I think she mentioned that we do, but she didn't go in details to mention done.
After you've cleared, you've done training with another institution.
Yes, I asked her this morning.
Yeah, it is possible. We do that even for nurses willing to immigrate to the US. But first of all, what we do is we look at your CV. So the only charge we would charge you is the one for CV alignment.
CV, and then the job search, you do it?
Yes. So
Okay.
if you are not our client, what we do is we guide you on how to go about the job search.
And you charge for that?
No, we only charge for the CV.
Okay. And how much is the CV in dollars?
CV is $20.
Okay, fine. That's fair. Okay.
Any other question, anybody?
Sorry, Emma. Let me just ask another one. And the one you
Okay.
spoke about, the proof of funds. Even if you
Yeah.
get a job, even if you
Sorry?
get a job, the proof of fund. Even
Yeah.
if you get a job and you get an offer letter from your employer, you
Okay.
still need to have proof of fund.
That is if you cannot leave your home country without having proven that you have sufficient funds to sustain you while in Germany. Okay.
And you mentioned that it's how much?
You need to have like 130,000.
Dollars.
That is in Kenya shillings.
For dollars is how much?
Probably $100, 150, between $100 and $150.
Oh, okay. It's not much. I was thinking it's about $2,000, $4,000. Okay.
Actually, it's much. I just did a miscalculation. It's between 1,200 and 1,500. Any other question? Anybody?
Let me add something. If you have a child, or if you have maybe a relative, if you have a friend who's completed Form 4, I believe that most of us who are in third world countries, there are no jobs. There are no secure jobs for our children, our friends. So what you do, you can advise them to use the opportunity, especially if you're in Kenya. Okay, I'm in Kenya, so let me talk about Kenyans. So there is a new law between Kenya and Germany, where one is able to, it has made the process easier for you to migrate from your country to Germany. Learn the language, go there as through Ausbildung process. Then once they complete it, because the only requirement needed for Ausbildung is a Form 4 certificate with a D+ and above. So once they are done, they will automatically become a registered nurse there and start working there. If you have a friend now even in the other countries, so I'm not specifically talking about Kenya, but for the new law, it's about Kenyans. But generally, even for the other countries, if you have a friend who's completed school and they do not have a job, kindly advise them to seek the German pathway because the pay is good. The only requirements needed is a B1 certificate. That's the least you can do. So you do A1, you do A2, and then B1. Immediately you're done. Each module takes 2 months. So in 6 months' time, once you have, or approximately 7 months, we start your migration process, looking and hoping for a job. And now since you have an opportunity, please make use of it. Let your friends know. Don't be mean with information. Even if someone was not in today's webinar, just talk to them, let them know. Helping one another is nice. And I always insist, sharing is caring. You might help someone today get a job in Germany, and then they're going to help you, help your kids maybe relocate there. And that is how you've made someone else's life better and your own life better. So when you have an opportunity to help someone or rather help yourself, please take the chance. I've seen a question. Do you offer nursing? No, we do not. If you're a registered, we only help people who are registered nurses, if you're a nurse, or rather if you have a different profession, that's when we help you. But we are not a school that teaches nursing. But you can do nursing in a different institution and then now come to us with a license. If you're an engineer, or if you're a doctor, if you're a nutritionist, if you're a teacher, you just need to come with your documents, and then we are going to verify if your program, if your profession matches the education level in Germany. So you're going to verify your documents, and then once your documents are verified by the German by the German country, then now that is when we know the way forward. If your program is viable, then you're going to practice whatever you learned in your respective countries there. If your program is not viable, now that is where we look for alternatives to now help you relocate. I believe I have answered your question.
Sorry. That's not, my name is Stacy. I was asking, do you only offer for nursing, or are there other, can I still do like the Ausbildung, but maybe in IT or something like that?
Yes, you can. So what happens is Ausbildung is not specifically for nurses.
Okay.
So you can go there to do IT, So we look at the different organizations because the intakes are not always there every time of the year. Like for now, there is an intake for January. So we don't know the next one, when will the next one be? So once we confirm when the next intake will happen, that is now when we look at the different organizations, the task force needed, and then we'll help you apply for anything. You don't have to be a nurse. You can do anything that you want.
Oh, all right. And for someone who's just finished high school and maybe did a short course for the past around 1.5 years, can you still switch and do Ausbildung without having the degree or any certificate in that area?
Yes, Ausbildung doesn't need any certificate. You just need a Form 4 certificate. That's the least certificate you need for Ausbildung, because you're going there to start afresh and start learning afresh. But if you're going to work, that is when now we will start verification of documents. If you're going to, or if you're going there with job visa card, visas, job search visa, your documents have to be verified so that they confirm that the program you did in your respective countries is applicable in Germany. But for Ausbildung, you just need Form 4 certificate. For au pairing, you can go there with just a Form 4 certificate. But then when you get there, you start now applying for Ausbildung so that you can learn and start working there. So if you've done A1 or A2, we can start your au pairing applications, because there are some au pairs who require A2. But now you will still need B1 because that is a requirement by the embassy. But we can start your applications, and then now by the time you get a host family, you will already have your B1 certificate. So the embassy will not have an issue with you.
Could I ask how long is the Ausbildung process?
3 years.
And the only requirements are the German certificate and your KCSE?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Sorry, do you need proof of funds for Ausbildung or EUPE?
No, you don't. Because a sponsorship kind of a program. So you don't need proof of funds. Any other question? Emma.
Yeah, Sharon, seems there's no other questions. So how about you just conclude and then we end our meeting? But before that, how about you give suggestions of a topic that you'd need to be guided on? Just type on the wall and we'll prepare for it.
Actually, I think that's a nice suggestion. So on the WhatsApp wall, you can suggest the topics that you would like us to have a session on, and we'll have our next webinar on date 16th. So you can you can visit our social global consultants. You can learn a thing or two from them. If you have any inquiries, let us know. But post on the WhatsApp groups the topics that you'd like us to talk about during our next webinar, and the topics that you'd like us to cover when we have the mini session I talked about, where we will just educate you guys about the basic introduction to German language. If there are no questions, allow me to end the meeting. It was nice having you guys. I hope you've learned something from us. I hope we'll have you as our students in our January intake class. All the best. Gute Nacht. That means good night in German.